Another beautiful day, man. Come on, another beautiful day. It is. Yes, yes. Raising the vibrations, man. A lot of us walk around with this low vibration. You know, my uncle always says, who you are alone is who you truly are. I was a miserable for the longest time. I smile when you see me because it's natural and I have it in me. But guess what? I was dying on the inside. I was killing myself. It was self-sabotage, you know. No drug addiction, thank God, so I'm not going to go there with that. That wasn't my issue. It was just feeling lesser than. It was not having confidence. You know, smoking a lot of weed, a little bit of drinking. It wasn't really my thing. You know, dealing with women that I just didn't have any business being with, right? And some of that stuff kind of carries over later on into your life. You know, triggers, patterns, life, learned behavior. Shut that shit down. I talked to a girlfriend of mine yesterday. She said, Josh, date for data. Don't go all in. And it's the same thing when it comes to, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's a business idea, whether it's an investment, whatever that it is, man. You just got to listen. You got to date for data. You got to focus on understanding what is it all about. Gather some information. Don't dive all in. And we dive all in and then we can't dive all back. You can't reverse that. You can't press rewind. You already invested time and money. You can't get that back. It's kind of been my fuck up. It's kind of been one of my fuck ups. It's been one of my things. And not even to just to get down on myself. You also, forgive yourself, move forward, make better, make things right the best you can, but you gotta move on from that. Just like the other person, whether it's the other business partner or the woman in my situation, in my particular situation on what I'm speaking on, we just can't do that because now you're dealing with soul attachments. You got that baggage, you got that backpack, you filled it up a little bit more. How much more can you stuff in that backpack? It's to the top. Squeeze it real tight and you zip it up. But then again, then here comes that one more situation. My therapist says, no trauma bonding, no bag of Doritos. Not that I'm the best person, but I know those bag of Doritos are out there. I know that trauma bonding is real. You gotta stay away from that. Be a better version of yourself. Conquer what you can. Control what you can. Control the controllables. Love yourself. Do best by yourself. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Do affirmations. Raise the vibration. Be alone, maintaining that. Understand your triggers. It's dope. It's lovely. It's amazing to live this life. It's amazing to feel good. We always say, I compare this to religion because I was in religion, a couple of different times. And, for years at a time, too. So when you think about, you go to church, go to the mosque, you feel great, right? But before, leading up to that day, Friday for Muslims, Sundays for Christians, and then after, you feel shitty. You feel down and out. Old ways are kind of seeping in. You're not so excited anymore. But you can do all that stuff by yourself, just like you can do it in church. When someone else is leading the prayer or leading the sermon, you can do that same thing in your house all alone. Get off the phone. Leave the phone alone. Get off social media unless you're following 100% positive, accounts and profiles and whatever else is on there. YouTube channels, make sure that you're keeping it positive. The negativity is gonna seep in. You just move that shit out the way. Remember, it's a moment. It's something you're looking at. And the brain does attract to that. It's like crack. They know what they're doing. I once heard, and I don't know if it's true, but I once heard that they actually have hypnotists that are working behind the scenes with social media. That's helping, that's causing people and forcing people to be attracted or become, attracted to whatever's being posted. That's crazy, because it feels like that. You ever look at social media? I'm not going to ask this question. I'm just going to tell you. When you look at social media, how you just feel stuck. That's what that is, man. That's like being hypnotized. You're like, one thing after you scroll. I did it this morning for a little bit. I'm like, stop. You got to catch yourself. No one else is going to do that. But anyway, I just want to share that, man. So when it comes to dating, think about how you feel when you broke up with that person. And instead of breaking up with that person, maybe you didn't have to go all in. And now you're wishing like, damn, again, you can't reverse, but now you're wishing like, damn, I wish I could have just dated first and told her That's what this was about. It was just a date. There was no love. There was no all in, head over heels. And not to take anything from that person, but maybe they just really weren't aligned with you. Maybe there were some things and qualities you saw, but because you didn't see everything, you were like, yeah, I'm jumping in and diving in for these couple of things. And you start to see more of her. And now you're like, damn, it's kind of too late. You know, I went all in. I can't backtrack. I can't take away what I said. But I don't know if you can hear me out here. It's a little windy. It's a little bit windy. But yeah, I just wanted to share that, man. You know, so it was great information. It was I was happy to receive that yesterday, and you know, just that's gonna be my focus. Date for data. You know, bro, it's getting older over here. I got these white chest hairs now. Isn't that amazing? As we get older, things just continue to change. And we get older, hormones are kicking in. We got to switch up supplements. We got to switch up what we eat. We got to switch up exercises. We got to be cognizant of how we act and feel and talk, even drinking certain alcohols. You know, what really vibes with us, music, people. You know, we grow older, man, but we also grow away. And you can't get caught up in your old ways thinking you're still that person and then justifying it and then continuing to make the same mistakes. I'm not about hurting feelings, so I got to check myself. And how I do that, I reflect. But how I also do that is I date for data. That's the new thing.